Hey, it is great to see everybody out there talking Miami football here at MarkRogersTV, our Miami channel, the voice of college football, our Miami channel, fired up, ready to go. We've got recent video posts featuring Cam Underwood from State of the U and the Wholesome One here on YouTube. So again, please lock it in right here if you love Miami football. So the deal with the content is that we produce at least one and typically two Miami live shows each week over on our main channel. We do those with Cam Underwood from State of the U, the Wholesome One, also Brian Scoop on the U. Appreciate him jumping on with us much of the time as well to talk Miami football. And so the live shows are over typically on the main channel. And then we slice those up so you can go directly to the topic that you want to see. Recruiting, quarterback battle, offensive line, whatever it is. Particular coaches hiring, firing. And then you can lock it in on a specific video topic here. We also provide unique, exclusive content to the Miami channel, usually via post-game shows. So I went live after a number of games. The bowl game in particular was the last one where I went live talking Miami right here on the Miami channel. So we would ask you Canes fans to, of course, subscribe here. Also support us on our main channel, MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. Okay, we're going to talk Miami football, and I will answer all the questions, comments, and the debate topics that you leave in the live chat. We'll take your calls at 860-325-3687, 860-325-3687. I will leave the call-in number down below in the crawl. And also want to remind everyone that this channel, our content, me as a college football content provider, analyst, whatever you want to call me, the voice of college football, we will excel and expand and grow and continue to do this based on your individual contributions and also based on other revenue streams, including sponsorships. So let's say you know of a business or you have a business that you believe would thrive and benefit from sponsoring our Miami content, both here and on the main channel, then please let us know at MarkRogersTV@gmail.com. You can always find me, whether you've got a request for a video or you got a recommendation or something, or most importantly, you got a contact for a sponsor, hit me up at MarkRogersTV@gmail.com. You can always do that. So in terms of Miami content, I'm going to go to the live chat, of course. We're going to take your calls, and we're also going to go through comments to the videos, and I'm going to look at those. We got the various new players. We're talking early enrollees. We're talking about transfer portal guys. They receive their jersey numbers. I did not look at the jersey numbers. I'm not big into jersey numbers, but they were handed out this week. You've got Blake Baker, of course, going to LSU, and I'm guessing if we took a poll that most of you would be applauding and celebrating Blake Baker moving on to LSU. We have the 2021 schedule release. We'll take a look at that. The ACC released its schedule this week, as did the SEC, and Miami's schedule is out. We knew all the opponents, but did not know the exact dates and game times. And actually, many of the game times are announced by television about a week prior to, about 10 days prior to. Quincy Roche and Jose Borregales participated at the Senior Bowl. All right, let's jump in. Got Hurricane Logan. Thumbs up. Yes, we need those thumbs up. It's not hard to do. If you enjoyed the content, if you like what we're doing, smash the like button. That's not difficult. We would also ask for individual contributions through Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. You can do it there. You can do it right here in the Super Chat. That would be awesome as well. But Hurricane Logan nails it right there. You can at least hit the like button. Really don't understand when I do a video, and I don't know what the average view count is here on the Miami channel. It's probably about 2,000 views per video, and I get like 100 likes. And the same 2 or 3 or 4,000 people keep watching videos. I would think that they like them, or they wouldn't watch them. I know I don't watch videos I don't like. All right, the Rod Farva, good to see you. Joined us on the Ohio State show that we did and wrapped up just a few minutes ago. Cheryl's here. Good to see you, Cheryl. Which reminds me, if you would like to be a moderator, then hit me up at MarkRogersTV at Gmail as well. Market a Motel 6. No, I'm a bit higher than that, but say what you will. All right, Rod Farva, here we go. Mark, what do you think Miami has to do to lock down recruits in South Florida like they used to in the 90s and early 2000s? Obviously, they need to win, but do you think there is anything else? Well, so South Florida is one of the best places to recruit in the country. We know that. Okay. I would think that Miami and schools that are sitting right in the middle of recruiting hotbeds would be helped out by this pandemic, because we're seeing, number one, players all over the country, high school players signing in this 2021 class who did not get to visit anywhere. So it only is logical assumption that if you don't get to visit, then you're more comfortable staying at home, number one. Or if you didn't get official visits anywhere, you're most likely, unless your family has a little bit of money, not a ton of money, you can travel with not a ton of money, but you need some money. And unfortunately, a lot of these families don't have much money, that you're going to stay close to home and visit those schools that are in driving distance, let's say. And then number three, just the sheer concern over the pandemic, whether that be the individual student athlete's concern, or most likely their family's concern, or their concern about a family member or members, would keep them closer to home. So this should all be an advantage for Miami, because they are located where the players are. So what do they need to do? Besides win, they need to build relationships. Recruiting is building relationships. It's winning, selling your school, selling all the things that are important to college football players, or soon to be college football players, and you gotta figure out what that is. So any university, any football program should say, we are selling all these things. We are selling these 5 things because this is where we're strong, and we can sell these 5 aspects of the program. Plus, we know that these resonate with players, but you also build that relationship to know, okay, this kid's interested in a business school. Well, let's sell him on how good our business school is. Or this kid especially, let's say, doesn't mind leaving home. It's not a big priority for him. He's located in Texas. We're in Nebraska. It's not a big deal for him. Or it is a big deal. So it's a combination of knowing what your strengths are as a football program and football team and university, but also knowing what's important to that particular player. Because there's a checklist that's pretty consistent. They want to win. They want to have cool facilities. They want to be in a location they're comfortable with. They want to connect with their coaches and the head coach, but their unit coaches, their position coaches. They want all these things. But everybody's different at the same time. So you need to know what's going to resonate with that particular player. And you do that by building relationships. So down at the bottom of the crawl, bottom of the screen, you will see the crawl that says, please like, share the videos on social media. So let's say you're a Miami fan. You enjoy the videos we post here in the live streams. Well, it would make sense that other people would enjoy the videos as well. So take the video links, share them on social media. Go to Twitter, go to Facebook. I guarantee you that over 90% of the people that you know on Facebook and Twitter have no idea that we're here, have no idea who I am, and you can help us out by sharing the videos. And then also, yes, subscribe. Now we'll get the phone line posted here. There we go, 860-325-3687. Hurricane Logan, they're going to do that. The Rod Favre we got, Ed Reed. Yeah, so the first two names he throws out there specifically, there's no question, are tremendous recruiters. Ed Reed, not that he's doing any official recruiting based on what I understand of his role, but Travaris Robinson as well. The Rod Favre is not a fan of Adidas. Got to go with Nike. I don't know what the answer is. We talked to Cam Underwood specifically about that a number of times. I think his insight's been amazing. The Rod Favre knows some Miami graduates who say the facilities are outdated. Ronan, what you got to say, Ronan? Good to see you tonight. Ronan's chiming in on the facilities. Always been poor at Miami. The new indoor facility is a good step forward, but considering it cost $40 million and schools are paying 10 alone on locker rooms, we're a long ways off. I think that's a great point because the lack of winning's not helped. I think the brand is still good. So I'm weighing pros and cons for your typical high school stud. Team and program's not been winning, not at a high level. Con. Pro, the brand is still strong in Miami. It's still associated with being cool. Still associated with, okay, this is a big deal, Miami. The location's positive. And then again, being right where all this high school talent is, positive. Negative, I don't know that this really comes up a lot, but it doesn't appear, I'm going to say this, and I think I'm pretty confident in stating that the talent development has not been what it is elsewhere. Just hasn't been. So I don't know if players typically see that, but if it gets around that, players that really look into, okay, is this coaching staff going to develop me into an NFL player? I'm being told as a high 4-star, let's say, and if you're a high 4-star, you have NFL type ability. At least it projects. You're only 17 years old now. You're going to play in the NFL when you're 22, 23. So a lot can happen there. You've either hit your ceiling or you've got a lot of room to grow. But is Miami really taking the talent that it recruits and signs and developing it into next level players at a high level? I don't see it. I think they've been lacking there. Jeff Lynn letting us know about Coach Shoop and Travis Williams. Are they a done deal for Miami? I do not know that. Somebody else can chime in on that one. Rod Favre, 1998 Tennessee, the last Adidas team to win. Marketing matters to these kids today as much as us older guys don't want to believe it. George, very popular is George in the Miami live streams as the big Gators fan. Ronan, that's not a stat, Rod. A&M is one of the best schools in the SEC and will be very Young going forward with Jimbo. Very good. Majority of schools wear Nike, so yeah, they're going to have more championships. So Miami, according to Ronan, has broken ground on a $40 million facility, or I believe it's completed, $40 million indoor football facility. George is saying that the University of Florida has shelled out $90 million for a football facility. Got more comments back and forth between Ronan and Rat Farba on gear. Ronan, it's coaches and it's lack of talent. Also, we haven't had 85 scholarships for a long time. It's only now the last few years that we are getting back to full strength. Jeff is saying, Mark, we've got better coaches now. We will see in 2021 about the progression of our players at Miami. So I'm not going to verify that, Jeff, but I think with, some of the coaches you do have, Red Lashley and position coaches are more involved in the recruiting, but Red Lashley and with T-Rob, those two guys come to mind in particular in going out there and hitting the recruiting trail and having reputations for bringing in players. And then the development of players, yes, we shall see. Rod Farba asking the question whether there's a realistic chance that Mario Cristobal ever becomes head coach of Miami. Well, based on Miami being a top 15 to 20 job in the nation, based on Mario Cristobal being from the area, having played at the school, coached at the school, just having roots at the school, I would think, yes, it's reasonable to think that because there are connections, not that it's likely to happen. He's at a program right now that would be considered a little higher than Miami, not a ton higher, but a little bit higher than Miami. But he might only be there because of money, and that's the best job he could get. If he can go back to Miami, I don't know if he's ever given indication that that's where he wants to coach. Heard good things, Jeff? Yes, about Jess Simpson. Very good things. Good to see everybody in the live chat. Again, we're talking Miami football here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. And as you guys know, we got a Miami live stream at least once a week over on the main channel. We post segments here on the Miami channel. We hope that you check those out. And then we want to provide even more unique content here. And so I went live after a number of games last year here. And this is the first time, maybe not. I think the last time we went live after the bowl game, and we also went live just a few weeks ago to answer comments. And that's what I was going to do. And I did want to look at the schedule. I mentioned jersey numbers for the new guys are out. Blake Baker off to LSU. You guys are partying big time about that. 2021 schedule is out for the ACC. And again, Quincy Roche and Jose Borregales played in today's Senior Bowl. Okay. Let's look at the schedule. All right. It's a tough schedule. It's a tough non-conference schedule for Miami. I don't know the last time they played this difficult of a non-conference schedule because it's Alabama in Atlanta. Okay. Doesn't get any tougher than that. That's the gold standard. But the group of 5 game is Appalachian State. Appalachian State at home. Not easy. Michigan State, decent Big Ten team. Not nearly as good as they've been under Mark D'Antonio. We think of Michigan State as being a top 10 to 15 program. Well, they were for a while. They're not anymore. They're a mid to lower tier. Emphasize and underline the lower tier of the Big Ten. Miami should win that game at home against Michigan State, but could be a challenge. Central Connecticut State, quite the add to the schedule there for Miami. And those are the 4 non-conference games. So there's almost a certain loss. There is a certain win. And then I would guess App State and Michigan State are 80-some% certainties of wins. They have to go 3-1 non-conference. Then they are off as Miami before they start ACC play with a huge game right out of the gate in the ACC. Enormous game at North Carolina, week 1. Week 1 in the ACC at North Carolina. NC State at home. Not a pushover this past season on the road on a Friday night, 44-41 game. Bailey Hawkman has transferred out of North Carolina State. At Pitt on October 30th. Georgia Tech, November 6th. Florida State on the road on the 13th. We've got Virginia Tech and we've got Duke. Then the ACC championship game. It's not a difficult conference schedule. The only 2 teams that Miami faces outside the division, Florida State, like they always play, Florida State, and the other game is North Carolina State. So any Miami fan, you already know your schedule every year. You know 7/8 of your conference schedule before you ever see a schedule because you're going to play everyone in the division. Then you're going to play Florida State out of the Atlantic, and you just got to find out who the other game is. It's against NC State. Huge game against North Carolina. Actually, I had mentioned ACC opener against North Carolina. No, that's game 2 in the ACC. Miami has a week off between Virginia, which is the ACC opener, and North Carolina. Virginia's a Thursday night game. That's Miami's only weeknight game of the season. Virginia at home, the ACC opener. Miami's going to lose to Alabama, and they've got a toss-up against North Carolina on the road. Maybe not a toss-up. Maybe they're a slight underdog. And then they should beat everyone else. Undoubtedly, they are better. Canes fans, your team's better than everybody else on the schedule. Everybody else. You're decidedly better. I don't have to think about it. It's not an argument. You're just better. Better than everybody else on the schedule. Appalachian State, Michigan State, Central Connecticut, Virginia, NC State, Pitt, Georgia Tech, Florida State, Virginia Tech, Duke. That's 10-2. If you lose to the 2 teams you're supposed to lose or could lose to, and only one is almost certain, Alabama, the other one, North Carolina. I know it was a drubbing this past year, and it's going to be on the road this year. But man, doesn't that look like 10-2? Wait a minute. Toby says, no, Mark. No, Mark, to what? Now, my guy, Barefoot Panda, 1023, says, great stuff, Mark. Keep it up. Thumbs up. Everyone, please take a second. Smash the like button. Also consider your individual contribution is needed. Or Man, it would be great if somebody out there listening to me, whether it be right now with our 26 on the line or at some other point, once this video posts, if you've got a legitimate contact to a potential sponsor, hit me up at MarkRogersTV at Gmail. All right, so Phil is saying no what? Phil, come on. 52-10. So Miami is, in 2020, one of the top 20 to 25 teams in the country. Florida State, 60, in the 60 range. Okay, got a lot of making up to do. The game's going to be where? Game's going to be at Florida State, correct? Game's going to be at Florida State. Now, Florida State's got a tough schedule. Yeah, so Ronan, I was going to say the same thing. You know, similar to 2 years ago, I looked at the schedule and thought, okay, the Florida game's probably a loss. Miami could win, and they could have won, even with a first-time starter at quarterback, Jaron Williams. Could have won, but I figured they'll lose to Florida, and they'll lose to, you know, maybe Florida State, or I forgot who the other team, you know, this is before North Carolina really emerged. And I looked at it and saw 10-2 2 years ago. But I thought about it and looked at it and thought, they'll trip up 2 more times and go 8-4. And I got lambasted for picking the Canes to go 8-4 in 2019 by people who said 11-1, 10-2, easy. Well, it went 6-6. George liked. Now, if George likes the video, that should set the example for everybody else. Got our guy, Mr. Prime, 39-773. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Mr. Prime. Seeing you for the first time here on the Miami channel. Don't know your deal in regards to who you root for, but would love to know. We always want to know who you root for, how long you've been watching. So Mr. Prime, let us know that. But appreciate that Super Chat contribution. So you can't drive it home enough, and I don't want to be a salesman or have a sales pitch. So I do this very rarely compared to the content we provide. Okay, this is all about the college football discussion, but just want to let you know, individual contributions and sponsorships are going to keep this thing going. So appreciate that. And so the Miami-Florida State back and forth starts. Phil fired his shot. Eddie's jumping in. Ronan's jumping in. Ronan says that FSU has lost its last 4 games to its main rival, Miami, and gave up the most points in series history this year. Terrible, terrible program. They are a terrible program right now. They are. We got to see something different. Got to see something different. You know what? That reminds me. Next time I go live on the main channel, I thought ESPN had an interesting article. We talk about tiers in college football. The elite tier, then the next tier, and where are the tiers? ESPN had an interesting article online the other day with its tier structure. I think there were 10 tiers. I thought it was pretty reasonable, but up for debate, conversation. Maybe I'll pull that and serve that out there in an upcoming call-in show. So again, Mr. Prime, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, this reminds me, we've had quite the debate recently among FSU fans and Miami fans concerning the 0-1 Canes and the 13 Noles. Did you guys watch a breakdown on that? I might size up the 2 teams and predict a winner. Well, it wouldn't be a prediction. It would be we can argue for the next millennium on who would win the game.
Press 1 to start the call or 2 to decline. The call will start at the beep.
Seems to spark a little fire and some debate there. MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. Who's on the line?
What's going on, Mark? Hurricane Logan. How you doing, man?
Hurricane. I'm good. What you been up to, man?
Oh, just scheming. Seeing what's going on in the program in Miami, obviously.
Absolutely. What you got for us?
How do you feel about what's going on with T-Rob coming in, possibly T-Will and Shoop as an analysis? How do you feel? I'm curious.
Well, when there are coaching hires, few things I go to with coordinators in particular. So you can't really say this with T-Rob and some of the other hires, but with coordinators, what I like to do, and I posted a video on this wasn't with Blake Baker. I should have got around to Baker, but with Red Lashley was say, okay, if this guy's been around a while, and with Lashley, you're talking about being a coordinator at what, Auburn, Arkansas State, Connecticut, SMU, so at least 4 stops for him. You know, let's look at what was the offensive production before he got there? What did they produce when he was there? And then did it fall off when he left? And, you know, I don't think you could take that in one job. But if that repeats itself over and over, if there's some kind of trend, I was just interested to see. And he generally upgraded the offenses where he went. T-Rob's got a tremendous reputation. So everybody I've talked to about T-Rob loves that hire. So I don't think there's any question that's a great hire. The other guys, I don't know. I lean on my Miami guys to a certain extent. I haven't really looked into it too heavily.
Are you talking about T-Will?
Yes, in particular. Yeah, so, Travis Williams. Yeah.
Linebacker coach, obviously Auburn, put some pretty good, talented guys out from the linebacker perspective. And the biggest thing is a big-time recruiter, and he has a relationship with T-Rob. And I think everybody here knows, at least I know you do, is the defensive coordinator talk is done. We're not going to bring in a DC. There's going to be a guy with the title, but we're not going to bring in a DC because you know they're going to want to bring in their own staff or whatever it may be. And I don't think that's going to happen. And I think if we bring in Shoop, we got Simpson now, T-Rob, man, we bring in T-Will. That defensive room with those meetings, you're not going to, you know, Manny's going to have everything he needs around him to sit there and call plays. And as long as he's open-minded to what they think, I think it'll actually work out really, really well for Miami.
Yeah, well, you probably saw we had the Wholesome One on here. We had Cam on here, and they both felt really good about those coaching changes.
I feel good about it, man. I mean, it's one thing. At the end of the day, we hired a guy that's learning on the job, and that doesn't fall on him. But at least this is year 3 coming up, and just what he's done with the offense after it was a problem, defense after it was a problem. He's making the changes. At least he's not leaving it. He's not leaving it alone. You know, he is addressing issues on the team. So I can definitely respect that with Manny.
I think it could be a positive that you've got a separate, coach for the secondary, and then a cornerbacks coach that can really hone in on, technique and, really work with your individual corners to make them better players.
Yeah. And I think the changes we made on defense too, I just feel like those coaches are more personable with the players on our team, which is huge, because I know from a former player, Brett Romberg, who spoke to Enos and other people in the program, that the kids didn't even like Enos. They just did not like him. And with the day and age of college football now compared to 2001, when Miami could have business coaches at all levels and still make it happen, I don't think it works that way anymore. The coaches have to be personable and have some type of relationship with the players. And I think that the coaches that we brought in, that's definitely going to be it's going to click, in my opinion.
Yeah, you got to be able to relate to them initially, just to get them in house, just to get them. That position coach is huge in selling the program and building that relationship with the player, because those players get attached to the position coaches, and they have a whole lot to do with bringing them on campus. So, it's tough to find a guy that's really good at everything. In terms of, is he a great football coach on the field? Plus, is he a good relationship builder? But you need some combination of both, because, yeah, you could have the best football minds on a staff, and if they can't go get the players and then connect with them, even if they come on campus, even if they sign with the team, if they can't connect with them and really teach and instruct, and you're going to have a bad locker room, and you're not going to develop them. Again, that could be a component we talked about with these past coaching staffs not developing players.
Yep, I agree 100%. Off-topic question: are you at your house? Because I've never seen this background before.
I am not. I'm on the road.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, that's really all I got, man.
All right, Hurricane Logan.
I'm pleased, I'm happy. So.
Always good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, always good to hear from you, Mark.
Have a
Thank
good
you
one.
for letting me call in.
Absolutely. Have a good one. Mr. Prime, 39773. Good to see you back in the live chat. Good to hear from you again. Thank you so much for the super chat contribution, sir. What you got here? I don't care how to coach kids, scheme them, or put them in position. Miami lacks strength, power, and speed. Great debate. Had this one many times. Okay, Miami's a top 20 or 25 team. That's what they are. That's what they were last year. They weren't even that the year before that. But they were still a top 15 to 25 team, even though they didn't show it on the field Rick's last year or Diaz first year. That's what they were. And that's what they showed on the field this year. They were improved, but still top 20-ish. Okay. I know that every Miami fan in this stream does not want to be a top 20 team, does not want to be going 8-4 every year, and then going 9-4, 8-5, and finishing 23 in the country, or 17 or 19. Would you finish this year? 23rd in the country. You don't want that. It's an improvement from 6 and 7. That's not what you want. Okay. I think most Miami fans, if I've got a pretty good gauge on what we've talked about and who's chimed in on a consistent basis, would side more that the coaching and development of players has been the issue more so than talent. Miami's had better talent than 6 and 7 and 8 and 5, and well, they did go 10 and 3, of course, in 17. But some of these recent teams that have lost 5 and 6 games, the talent's been better than that. Has the talent been elite? Has the talent been Clemson? No. So it's a combination. But if you took a capable coaching staff from a major school and they would have coached these Miami teams the last 10 years, your record would be better. And I'm not even talking about the best staffs in the country. I'm not talking about taking Saban and his boys from Alabama and coaching this program the last 10 years. Or Clemson. I'm just talking about a capable staff. These teams, talent-wise, were better than certainly 8 and 5 and 6 and 7 the 2 years before this past season. They were just better. And especially against the schedules they played. Not just should they have played and won more games, but against those schedules. The 6 and 7 team in 2019, against that schedule, it wasn't just 6 and 7. It was 6 and 7 against that schedule. So I'm going to say, if we're going to target blame between coaching and talent in the last 10 years, I'm going to go coaching 60 to 70% and talent more in the 30% range. Well, Big Ten, ACC, back and forth. Oh, 1 Miami, 13 Florida State. What does Eddie say here? I feel good about the 0-1 Canes winning because that defense gave up 10 points per game, while the 2013 Florida State squad gave up 17.5 per game. All right. Anything in these videos need to get? So this was one of the reasons I wanted to jump on too. Is I don't always get a chance to get to the videos to answer the comment section. So let's see if we've got anything worth talking about here. I don't want to just read off a bunch of comments. We've got breakout players for 2021. We've got Kevin Porter saying Bubba Bolden and Avante Williams. They're your breakout players. Offense should be better this year. Hope King is doing well with his rehab. Work hard in the offseason. Sergeant 7 sees Buffoon. Zion is literally the worst offensive lineman I've ever seen in Power 5. He's a D2 player at best. Stop Cam. He cannot move anyone. Okay. I think Cam is feeling good about Zion Nelson's development. Also mentioned that he saw him in mock drafts for next year. Sergeant 7 sees Buffoon says Zion Nelson is basically the worst offensive lineman he's ever seen in the Power 5. Can't move anyone. Okay. Same guy, Sergeant 7, is saying, experience or not, they are not talented. Talking about the Miami offensive line here. They cannot run, block, or move anyone. That's why all of the runs are all bounced outside. Replace them all so we can call inside runs. Angelo, you feel the Canes need to bring in transfer offensive linemen to make them better and add depth. Raj and Seema 123. Miami offensive line has been mediocre at best for the past years. All it takes is a coach with common sense to take the same protocol as Wisconsin, Stanford, Ohio State, etc. 904 Hurricane. Hit the like button. Thank you. Anything else that's of interest? Tabardine, our guy Tabardine. This is typical Tabardine right here. Miami's going to whip the dog out of Alabama as long as Alabama don't hold our ends like everyone else does. Like I said, Miami has the best coach in college football, Manny Diaz. It took the ACC to pay refs to cost us the Clemson game, and okay, that's just too ridiculous. Okay, we're talking about Ed Reed. We were talking about Troy Polamalu the other day. Jimmy Tube chimes in with how would Ronnie Lott compare to Ed Reed? It would be terrifying to have those two on the same team. Add Dion and Rod Woodson. That would be my dream team secondary. A lot of people would like to see Franklin, the newcomer at running back, take over the starting job. We get a comparison here to Derrick Henry out of Pi Y. Angel Munez, love the show. Keep the great info coming. Of course we will. VLKV, would it be insane for Ed Reed to become the new DC? I'm asking because I know nothing and I'm genuinely curious. Would it be insane? Well, we talked about him going back out onto the field or to go to the field to be a coach. He has no experience in the role, but that's happened elsewhere. Mike McDonald has never been a defensive coordinator. He was the Ravens linebackers coach. He's now the DC at Michigan. And all the Ed Reed talk certainly led to comments concerning the greatest Miami Hurricanes of all time and the best quarterbacks and the best at each position. So some interesting stuff there. Yeah, Ronan, D. Wiggins, a lot of pass breakups this year, just on the wrong side of the ball. Dem Canes Harris, you want me to talk about the wide receivers? They were awful last year. They got better, though. I should back off of awful. Awful early, got better. Pope dropped more obvious passes than Wiggins. Wiggins doesn't fight for the football well enough. And in today's game, that is required of wide receivers. If you're watching a game, go back and watch a college football game from 30 years ago. And sure, did it come up? Was it good to have a wide receiver that could outfight a DB for the ball? Yeah. Did it matter nearly as much? No. Teams rely on wide receivers to outfight DBs because the DB is in a disadvantage. Number one, they're typically shorter. Number two, they don't know where the ball is. They don't know when the ball's been thrown. They are playing defensive back typically because they don't have as good of ball skills as a wide receiver. A lot of advantages go to the wideout. It's not a 50-50 ball. It's a 50-50 ball if you just took two like players and threw the ball up in the air. That's a 50-50 ball. That's just a term. It's about an 80-20 ball. And so if your receiver's coming down with it 50% of the time, that's not good. They should be coming down with it 80% of the time if the ball's thrown well. Obviously, you don't complete 80% of your passes downfield because you only complete a good quarterback 65% of his passes. Well, although the Joe Burrows and the Mac Jones of the world were getting into that rarefied, these guys are getting so good, 75%. But to be reasonable, 65%. There's a lot of checkdowns, but there's also a lot of drops. Or some drops. A lot of drops on Miami, drops on other teams. So the balls that are catchable downfield should be pulled down by the wide receiver 80% of the time because of all the advantages I just outlined. Got our guy, Mr. Prime. Appreciate this so much on the Super Chats because Mr. Prime obviously gets it here. Either he just loves the show or he gets it that I've poured the entire deal right into what we're doing here on the Miami channel and also on the main channel and the other channels. And this is what we do full-time all the time, full throttle. So we are going to succeed based on your individual contributions and also other revenue streams, most notably sponsors. So we need to get those in. Mr. Prime, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Miami can't tackle. Shoestring tackles and weak players trying to get a side hit instead of driving through them. Bama will run through us. Okay, so you're a Miami fan. Okay, good to see. Bubba Bolden. Okay, what was the first game? UAB. Didn't really notice him in that game. And I'm sure he played well, but the Louisville game, he stood out. The first 3 or 4 games of the season, you talk about tackling and form tackling. It was almost a thing of beauty because you don't see a whole lot of guys tackle like this anymore. Like wrap guys up, like wrap them up and just drop them on the spot. He was doing that. I don't know how he got worse as a tackler. He wasn't doing that as the season progressed, which is very odd because usually if you have a skill set down, like he showed in the first few games, then not that you don't need to continue to practice it, but young players typically get good. And just to see his tackling form displayed that well early, I was surprised to see him regress. In terms of the rest of the team, well, against North Carolina, against those two backs, and they're tough to tackle, but still, that was an atrocious display. Because for as good as those two backs are, Michael Carter, Javonte Williams, I'm talking about with North Carolina, they didn't roll up those kind of numbers against other teams that aren't as talented as Miami. So to your point, Mr. Prime, there's the case example right there. If you would have told me before the North Carolina game, Heels are going to win this game, they're going to score 62, I would have thought, okay, Sam Howell picked on those corners and had a field day. And he threw for 450 or 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. Nope, he threw the ball 19 times. He threw it well. He was effective, but they didn't win because of Sam Howell. They won because of the offensive line and those 2 running backs just destroying Miami physically. That game was pitiful from a tackling standpoint. So good points there by Mr. Prime. Dennis says that Bubba Bolden takes bad angles. Okay. Eddie, yeah, and it was beyond me why the coaches kept grouting them out there. I guess the guys behind them aren't any better. 904 Hurricane. Man, this guy's on it. Smash the like button. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate that. You are not stroking my ego by hitting the like button. See, that's not what it's about. It's about YouTube. And the way YouTube is set up, the algorithms say we're going to reward this video a lot because it's getting a ton of likes. This video with 10,000 views, this video with 10,000 views. If one has 100 likes and the other one has 5,000 likes, the one with 5,000 likes, YouTube's going to say, big deal about the 10,000 views, throw out the one with all the likes. And when I say throw it out there, that means it gets put in the suggested videos column. So we want that. We need that to get the videos out in traffic. And we can also get your help by you sharing the videos out on social media. So again, thank you, 904 Hurricane. You know what? After I get off here, I'm going to have a little late night dinner, and I'm going to look that up in terms of exactly what happens to these videos that get liked and why is that so important. I pretty much explained it, but I want to understand a little bit deeper. I am a YouTuber, and I gotta take advantage of the metrics involved and try to figure this out because there's a lot to figure out here. Eddie, I was so angry at the UNC game and yelling as much as I shredded my vocal cords and started bleeding. Whoa! Take it easy, Eddie. Jeff Lynn's ELO 2022 tour. It's good that you updated that. Remember Leonard Hankerson? He was dropping balls before his senior season. After his junior year, he trained during the summer with Mark Duper at a monster season in the NFL. Got drafted. All right, all good stuff in here. I've gone through the videos that we posted in the last couple of weeks to see if there's any comments that make a whole lot of sense. I've read some of them off. Not a whole lot there, but appreciate the comments. And gone through the live chat. Appreciate everyone there. We got the number down at the bottom of the screen, 860-325-3687. Otherwise, I think I'm going to sign off unless we get a call coming in very soon. Don't know when the Miami show is going to be available to you this week. I got to get a hold of Cam. I've been out of town. Haven't really been on it too much. But listen up. National Signing Day is Wednesday. I am going to be on live all day on the main channel. All day, starting at 10 a.m. I'm just going to be pumping out live show after live show after live show after live show. So it's not going to be just one live show. Just stay on the main page. And I am approaching it this way so we have specific videos that post for every team. So what I typically do on National Signing Day is I will have a conversation with, let's say, a North Carolina guy, and then I got to download the video, and then I got to edit it, then I got to upload it, and it's just nonstop all day. This is going to be easier because I'm just going to go live, and it's when we go live, then once we're done, the video just posts, and it's done. So I don't have to do all this downloading, editing, uploading business that takes 20, 25, 30 minutes. So you're going to have to be quick, be on the page, main channel, be on the page, be ready, because the live streams are coming. North Carolina, Indiana, Miami, Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, UCLA, who knows who else. All sorts of teams coming your way, again, on Wednesday, National Signing Day. And then we'll have a big wrap-up call-in show Wednesday night at 8 Eastern. All right. Yes, Eddie. Damn. Mark, really? Yes. All day on Wednesday. Great to see everybody here at MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. Take your advice from 904 Hurricane. Smash the like button. And again, join us for National Signing Day all day. Just jump in there, listen to us all day, keep us on. We will talk not just National Signing Day. We are going to talk college football across the board, everything involved, all day, all night. National Signing Day on Wednesday, right here at MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. We would ask that you would also subscribe and take a lead there from our guy, Mr. Prime. Appreciate the Super Chat contributions. Mr. Prime, thank you so much. Also, Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App. You can find me there at MarkRogersTV. See you soon. See you on Wednesday for sure. And we will let you know when the next Miami Live is coming your way. That's the reason you hit the bell for the notifications to know when we're going live. So Wednesday for sure, all day. And also Miami Live's coming up. Check out those notifications. See you soon.